Hurricane Irene. Yeah, that's a pretty rare event for this part of the country. The Northeast doesn't see landfalling tropical systems very often. Hurricane Bob in August 1991 was the last time that happened, and before that would have been Hurricane Gloria in September '85. So when things started coming together for Irene, Dave and I, yeah, we got pretty amped up, pretty excited of the prospects of intercepting a landfalling tropical system, essentially in our own backyard.
Now, what's important to know about chasing a hurricane is that it's going to be very different than your typical tornado chase. Basically, you're going to be going into a potential disaster area, and you won't have access to critical resources such as food or fuel or even lodging. So you're going to have to find a way to take all of those things with you somehow. And this is something that we've learned the hard way on past chases, when we've run out of gas or places to stay, and we've actually had to sleep on the floor of a parking garage before. But at least with Irene, we had the luxury of being able to drive to and stay overnight in the landfall area, courtesy of Scott's house on Long Island. Basic hurricane supplies. I've got my camera bag, got my laptop bag, gonna need a towel, blow-up mattress, got my portable anemometer, got my still camera bag, and I've got a few clothes packed away, and also some goggles, sandals, and waterproof pants and jacket. Alright, so here is the storm. It is currently about to make landfall in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Basically a Category 1 and is weakening, doing very poorly right now. The storm has no south side almost. And yet we're still going after it because, hey, it's going to come up the coast and it's going to hit Long Island. So why not? We live very nearby. So this is the Euro model. It's on the west side of the guidance envelope, and it shows Irene's center over central New Jersey. This is actually a worst case scenario for New York City, and best case scenario for us since we're chasing it, but it puts high-end tropical storm, almost hurricane force winds right off the coast of Long Island, which will funnel all the water into the city area and probably lead to a lot of flooding there. But, like I said, it's on the west side of the guidance envelope. These are the guidance tracks, and they're all tightly clustered pretty much over central Long Island, pretty much over Scott's house. So that's where we're going. Now, in the case of Hurricane Irene, I was able to find a detailed map of the south shores of Long Island showing the potential flooding zones. We used this map as a guide to determine where we wanted to be that day and what areas we might want to stay away from.
So this is Rockaway Beach on the southern end of Queens County, and when we arrived the day before Irene's landfall, the weather was getting bad already. And the one thing we noticed was there was a whole line of buses in the parking lot, a whole ton of them actually, and they were there to evacuate people from the immediate coast. Good thing too, because the following day Irene's storm surge did a ton of damage to the boardwalk, and not just the boardwalk, the water had swept all the way into the parking lot and inundated many of the homes right there along the southern tip of Queens. You know, when it comes to hurricane preparations, one of the things that you see a lot is the whole masking tape on the windows thing in like the X pattern. This does absolutely nothing to protect your glass. Does nothing to protect your windows on your home. That myth definitely is just that. It's a myth. If you really want to protect the windows on your home, the best way to go is certainly the plywood. Here's the center of Irene. I'm going to use my cursor, how about that? Here's the center of Irene, right by Atlantic City, literally passing Atlantic City, intense convection on the northwest side, sliding up the Jersey coast. We're sitting right here. That's my house. The center is literally going to probably pass right over my house, which is, I mean, that certainly has not happened in ever, as far as I know. Or possibly 1821, I think, was the last direct strike on New York City, so this will be quite interesting. 5:05 a.m., we're going to hang out here. Probably for another hour because it's pitch black, can't film anything right now. And then we're going to head out and we're going to either go to Rockaway, which is due south, or possibly a little further east towards Long Beach. And we'll see how that all plays out. Here at 160th Avenue.
They're not really moving much, and I'm getting 42.
Okay, we're getting 42-mile-an-hour wind gusts up here on the bridge.
27 sustained. 30 sustain.
Sit here for a moment. Whoa! The camera went down a little bit. It's hard to tell.
I was kind of looking like this, but I had it.
I heard the tree snap. You heard it snap?
I watched it.
Yeah.
I didn't get the dip.
So after we documented some things on the main road right there on Cross Bay Boulevard, we decided to head on the side streets. And by this point, the water was really coming into town. So we said, all right, let's go document some of this on the side streets. We parked our vehicles on a road that wasn't inundated with floodwaters yet. And we started filming. So we're documenting things, you know, everybody's doing their thing. And at one point, I'm about knee-deep in storm surge, and I look above me, and there's this power transformer just swaying in the wind. And I look down, I'm knee-deep in storm surge, I got a power transformer right above me swaying, and I'm thinking, this is probably not the smartest move right now, standing here. If that transformer were to fall, and the power was still alive in the town for the most part, so yeah, that would have been really bad. There were several residents by this point just kind of, you know, they couldn't do anything. They were just poking their heads out, watching what was going on, and I mean, what are you going to do? You know, it's water. Water finds a way, and the water was coming into town, and the residents there, they couldn't do anything about it, so they just kind of watched and, you know, hoped that it wouldn't get too deep where they were, and that was about all you could really do at that point. There we got resident here in Broad Channel pumping, well, the obvious, water out of the basement.
Mostly water.
Mostly water. So after spending about an hour and a half in Broad Channel, we decided to head a little further east towards Long Beach in Nassau County. So we hopped on the Bell Parkway and we headed eastbound. Upon getting to Austin Boulevard in the town of Island Park, which is in Nassau County, that's when we started really encountering some deep floodwaters. So we figured, you know what, let's just set up here for a bit, we'll shoot some video, and then after we're done, we'll find an alternate route to get to Long Beach. All right, Dave, so what's going on?
Okay, we are in Long Beach on the south shore of Long Island. Hurricane Irene, or now Tropical Storm Irene, has just passed to our northwest, and it made a pretty much direct pass on Manhattan, which hasn't happened since the 1800s. And we're feeling right here, winds are around 50, 60 miles an hour or so, sustained. That is tropical storm force, and the ocean is definitely angry right now, and we're just enjoying it.
That's it. So you might be wondering what all that brown foam is everywhere. Well, that's sea foam, and it was churned up by the crashing waves and then blown pretty much everywhere by the strong winds that day. Hurricane Irene was downgraded to tropical storm status just prior to landfall here in the greater New York City area. Regardless, the combined effects of Irene and Tropical Storm Lee, which inundated the Northeast with torrential rains just a few weeks later, was truly devastating to many communities here in the Northeast. Areas that were flooded during Irene were barely able to recover before being pummeled again with the relentless rains of Tropical Storm Lee just a few weeks later. All in all, total damage from both storms was estimated to be over $12 billion. Whether a storm is designated a tropical storm or a hurricane, they should always be taken seriously. The best way to prepare for these events is to inform yourself. Make it a point to learn which areas in your neighborhood are most prone to flooding. And most importantly, pick up a NOAA weather radio and make sure to have it on or in alert mode when severe weather is threatening your area.